for Life volunteers just never ceases to amaze me, and after every interaction I have with all of you, I end up feeling incredibly inspired. So I'm sure today's session is going to be no different. As Leanne said, I'm going to be talking about the impact of COVID-19 on the fundraising climate and how we are responding as an organisation, and specifically Relay for Life. So do you want to go to the next slide? So for the next financial year, we're working on the assumption that there will be no physical events until late October. Obviously, we're all learning as we go with this new world that's being thrust upon us. So obviously, if things change and this assumption changes, we will be letting everyone know. But for the time being, this is the plan that we've made. And until then, we are pivoting and adapting our physical events where appropriate to virtual offerings. So some examples of these are, our prestigious Daffodil Day event is not going to be having any sites this year. So we are going to be promoting an online offering throughout August. So watch this space for the activity around that. And then our campaign Do It for Cancer has been one of the most versatile campaigns in terms of adapting to virtual propositions, and we've had some really great wins in this space. Our Do It Yourself Shave campaign has raised over 150,000 in the last few months, and we also did a nice initiative of doing a half marathon at home, and that's raised over 50,000. So some nice wins that we've been testing in market and showing that if we adapt and get creative, we can have some fundraising wins, which is really nice to see. And interestingly, we've been looking at benchmark reports of the industry. Outside of physical events, all other areas of fundraising are performing really well year on year. So that's really encouraging, and really just shows us that people do still want to give and have the ability to give. And so I think we should all take a lot of heart in that. But also to say that we have also seen some really great wins in the event space. So I'm going to go into some detail on those, and on the next slide, please. So some really exciting events that have happened in the last few months, which have done phenomenally well, is the May 50K, which you might have seen. It's a virtual running event in its second year for MS Research. It raised a staggering 6.5 million this year. And what we really saw with that, it was just an event that happened at the right time. It happened about 6 weeks after lockdown happened, so people were really craving a physical kind of exercise activity to do. And so it just really was one of those events, was the right time, right place. But we are seeing a trend in this climate of people really wanting to do physical activities and kind of getting on board, as I just mentioned, with the half marathon at home. That was a great success that we had. Dance for Sick Kids was another really nice creative initiative we saw in the industry. This was a dance, again, do it yourself challenge for Ronald McDonald House. It was a really targeted campaign, and they targeted dance academies and schools, and got a lot of success doing that. So I think that it was a really nice idea that did really well, raising $400,000. And then finally, again, just also following on the kind of physical challenge and nature of kind of what the market is really kind of wanting at the moment, is this there was a push-up challenge in May for Headspace, a mental health charity, and that raised again a staggering $5 million. So really encouraging to see that, you know, if you get the proposition right in the marketplace, we can have success. But obviously, yeah, we just need. I think it's just encouraging that we can have ideas that will get traction in this climate. So next slide, please. So what does COVID mean for Relay for Life this year? Relay for Life is incredibly important to Cancer Council. It's one of the highest income generators in the campaign's portfolio, and this means it enables us to deliver our programs and services for those impacted by cancer. So we really see it as a priority campaign in the organisation, and we recently had a workshop as an organisation to understand what our priority areas should be over the next 12 months. And we know we want to get better at connecting our supporters and volunteers with the amazing progress that we are making in cancer research, and therefore improving survival rates, but also the added value services that we provide for people with cancer. And we really want to kind of give you more stories and more updates to ensure that you know, we're doing our job by connecting you to ultimately the cause you're supporting through Relay for Life. We also want to be much more flexible with Relay. We want you to really tell us what the community needs are with relays and adapt Relay for the community needs. We feel that that will have make Relay more relevant and help you get more people to relays if we provide more flexible options. So really looking for your kind of input and insights into that. And then finally, we ultimately, we want to achieve sustainable fundraising. We know we're in a tougher climate, and we really just need to really ask ourselves, and everything we do, are we doing it in the most efficient and effective way to really make sure we're spending money wisely, but also getting the return that we want to enable us to deliver all our amazing programs and services for people impacted by cancer. And then finally, there's a lovely saying about COVID, which is that it's been the great accelerator. It's forced us to do things a lot quicker than potentially we would have. Two great examples are, organisations having, to operate with people working from home. That probably would have happened in maybe 5, 10, how many years' time, but it's been forced upon us in this environment, and it's probably here to stay in some form or another. And another great example is these webinars. I think they're a great initiative. And again, we probably would have done them eventually, but this climate has forced us to think differently about how we communicate and using different mediums and how we can reach more people and engage more people. So just a couple of examples, but I think it's just it just shows that we're being forced to think differently. And I guess it's, what can we do this year in Relay that are examples, to continue that trend of adapting to the climate for Relay. So next slide, please. So the importance of the fundraising ask, I think, we fundamentally believe that we have a duty on behalf of all people impacted by cancer to continue to raise funds, even in this climate, because we know that ultimately research progress is going to slow down if we don't continue to raise funds, and that you have all made so much great progress with survival rates because we are raising funds. So if we stop to do that, we are not doing what we need to do for people with cancer. And likewise, we put put on so many great services which people would just be lost without. And we know that if we don't continue to raise funds, some of these services might be at risk of, not happening at the capacity that they're happening, or, potentially not happening at all. So that really kind of fuels our belief that we need to ask the community to fundraise on our behalf. And we are, as I said, we are seeing that people do want to fundraise, and they do want to give to find that sense of connectedness, which they are potentially losing in this climate because of what COVID's done. And people want to be empowered to do something about, this ghastly disease, and do something to help people's situations. But obviously the climate has impacted people's circumstances, and we need to be sensitive to that. And people will be giving in different ways, whether it's the amount or the frequency. But the point is that giving together, we have so much more power and collective control in our communities to do something about cancer. Next slide, please. And finally, just to let you all know that we are currently working on an approach to implementing health management controls with regards to COVID-19 at all our physical events. So as soon as we've got all the information at hand, we will be letting you know about this. But we are doing a lot of work behind the scenes around this. So please be reassured and watch this space for more information. And I think that's me. And I think if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we will either be going through them at the end or responding at the end of as a follow-up to the webinar.
Oh, thanks, Addie. I'll jump in next. Hi, everybody. So as we introduced, my name's Bree. I work out of the Wagga office here. And I've been working on some really exciting things over the last few months, which I'm quite excited to let you all in on. It's actually hot off the press, and you guys are actually the first people to be hearing about it. So I hope you feel quite privileged for that. And yeah, as excited as I am to bring this new initiative to you. If I could go to the next slide, Rashmi, please. Okay, cool. So something I've been working on over the last couple of months has been looking into the opportunity for online raffles. So similar to what Addie had said, COVID-19 really has given us a few curveballs, but has been a great accelerator to push us to innovate and find these new opportunities to fundraise, which we might not have explored in the past, or put it in the too hard basket, being in that fast-paced Relay for Life mode that we're all used to. So with this, we knew it was time to explore new options with online raffles, and I'm really excited to let you guys all know we've got a new partnership with Raffletix, and I'm sure you're all going to be just as thrilled to hear about this. So I'll go into a bit more detail about what that looks like and how we can get started. So Rashmi, if I go to the next slide. Perfect. So I guess before we get started, it's just good to talk about some of the benefits that comes with online fundraising, and that including online raffles. So in today's busy society, we know more than ever, we're looking for ways to save time and make life easier for both at home and work and in our, I guess, personal lives. So fundraising has made its way into the online space, crowdfunding, online charity donation platforms, and I think our affiliation with social media has made reaching the masses even more accessible. So why not utilize this and jump into, I guess, something that would definitely benefit that through having social media at our fingertips, which is the online fundraising raffles. So there's a huge range of benefits when it comes to having an online offering to support all the work that you are doing on the ground. So this is going hand in hand with you selling those raffle tickets on the ground, but also I think helps elevate that. So one of the first benefits, of course, is broader audience. So being able to offer that not only within, selling at the front of your local IGA or down at the local club, you can now chuck it on Facebook, send out an email to your work colleagues. You can reach out much further to help optimize those sales. So it also minimises costs associated with printing and design, less raffle book distribution and recovery, so that minimises the tedious audit risks that comes along with raffles. Simple record keeping, so it's all in the platform, which I'll show you a bit later. Less cash handling, card payments, so it's really simple to make those purchases, but also offers automatic receipting, so either email or SMS, so people will have that physical ticket straight away as well. And the other great thing is really simple sharing for greater sales opportunity within your network. So I think, when you purchase a ticket, you get an email straight away, which gives you a link that you can share it with other people to purchase a ticket. So it's quite an exciting opportunity. I think there's a lot of really great things with this platform can offer. So we'll go over to the next slide, please. So here's a quick, I guess, overview of what the platform will look like when you first go into it. So it's really fantastic in the way that we can set it up with our brand. So you can see our logos there, our right colors. You can really customize it to make the website work for your relay. This website can also work for team raffles and things like that if you want to be utilizing this space as well. So it has a lot of information. You can go through and really customize everything. It's all branded. It showcases sponsors. You can have click through to your website, and sells tickets through credit card payments straight away in a simple online process. So it's quite exciting, and I think there's a lot of opportunity here to make it look really neat and tidy, but also sell them within a really simple, easy to use platform. Go to the next slide. So with raffle sales, I think something that is quite important to us is to be able to still offer in-person sales. So with this platform, it's quite simple to utilize it to do on in-person sales. So whether that be you're sitting down by the local IGA, instead of handwriting, hundreds of tickets out on that day, you can put through the purchases through your phone, through an iPad, through a computer, basically any browser platform you can use, and use a link where you can sell tickets. And that's either you can take credit card payments through the app on your phone, or alternatively, you can also take cash sales and process those ticket sales through your phone, so that people are still receiving that automatic SMS or email when they are purchasing this ticket on the spot. So it's really exciting, and it's a quick and fast and simple way of selling tickets. Next slide, please. This is probably the one thing I'm most excited about, is the team fundraising capabilities. So we understand with relays and their major raffles, quite often they're used to help support team fundraising and ensuring that teams can participate and have a really simple way to help raise money while people are having something ready to go. So we thought it was quite important to make sure that this is functionality built into the website, and we have been able to have it set up so that when a person is going into the platform, they can either type in the team they wish to support, or alternatively, when we are setting up each team, you will receive your own unique URL, which is unique to your team. So anyone who clicks through that link through your Facebook, your emails or whatnot, they click through that link, make a purchase, and that records that data to show that that sale has come through to that team fundraising. We'll then all in the back end do our fancy bits and pieces and get that fund allocated to your team. So it's quite exciting, and I think it's going to be a really simple way for you guys to raise money without too much work involved on your behalf. Also, with the unique URL, the team captains will receive some information in an email once that's set up, and through that, basically they can also click through and have their own view of the data that their sales data, so they can see how many tickets they've sold and how much money that their team has fundraised through that, which I think is a really useful functionality, and I believe really is going to be very helpful for a lot of us. Next slide, please. So you can see here, this is just a quick overview of what the admin dashboard looks like. So in real time, it is updating any sales that are coming through. You can see exactly what teams that sale is going through to, as well as online, offline sales and things like that. So I think it really gives us a really good overview. We can pull these reports, people opt into whether they want to be communicated about our relay, so we can also access that information too, to supply them with more information about our event. So yeah, it's got so much detail, so much opportunity. I'm really excited for you guys to hit the ground with this one. So next slide, please. Cool. So that's it. So if you want to get started, what I recommend, chat to your CRC. I am going to be sending them out information pack over the next few days, so they'll be ready to go to get this set up and running. Also, if you're interested, feel free to jump on to raffletix.com.au and basically you can have a look and see what some other raffles look like, the look and feel, and I guess the functionalities there. So it's quite exciting, and I think there's a lot of new opportunities out there, and I'm really quite keen to get this started. So hopefully you guys are feeling the same as me, and ready to hit the ground running with that one. Any questions, type in the chat box or feel free to reach out to me afterwards. I'm more than happy to chat through. It's something I've been working on for a little while, so I feel like I know it quite well now and happy to answer any questions there. Okay, well, I might hand over to my fellow committee member for Border Relay, Carl, to have a chat to you guys about what he's done to create a really, really strong raffle on the border community, which has seen go to strength each year within the Albury-Wodonga Relay for Life. Thanks, Carl.
Bree, thank you for that introduction, and thanks to everyone for giving up their time. It's great to see everyone still really uniting for Relay for Life. It's such a passionate cause that you as a sole audience already know all about, so thank you for giving up some time. Look, the major raffle is something that we've been doing down here in the Border Relay for Life, no doubt similar to all your relays, and we've been doing it for a few years. To me, what makes a good raffle is something that everyone wants. Who doesn't want another car? That's always obviously an easy one. And, you know, when selecting the car, we also thought about a few other options, you know, with camper trailers, vouchers and all those kind of things. And we actually started off our relay about 8-10 years ago with a $5,000 travel voucher. But we've all stood out there in the middle of winter or the middle of summer trying to sell raffle tickets, and selling a voucher is sometimes not the easiest thing to sell. Some of us can talk underwater, not as good as James though, but plenty of us can sell a few things, but being able to stand in front of a car at a shopping centre or at a school fete or at a game of football is a pretty easy physical thing to have behind you or with you. And it's something that most people would either want or need, or would know someone else who would be able to pass it on to. So the car's obviously our preferred style, and we've been lucky enough to have some really good support from our major sponsor and a couple of different car dealerships locally for that. But the car is only one of the prizes. It's the fact that we've been able to offer up between 5 to 8 prizes with the raffle. But those prizes actually come out of default from sponsorship. When we start talking to sponsors kind of 10 months out from the relay, you quite often have sponsors, and we all know the market's pretty competitive at the moment. We all have sponsors who aren't quite willing to be able to write a cheque to Cairns Council or to Relay for Life, but they will be able to offer you a weekend away, or will be able to offer you some meals at their cafe, or will be able to offer you a retail voucher at their retail store. So we've kind of over the years blended all those leftover sponsorship donations to the raffle. So you might be able to make up a package for a weekend away with some dinner and drinks from 3 or 4 different people, but still be able to put into pretty simple language so that it is simple to talk about on the radio. It is simple to talk about on social media. It is simple to sell at your shopping centre and at your team information sessions. So for us, what makes a good raffle is A, something everyone wants, B, some prizes that everyone needs, but the other way around is you've got to make it simple for your teams. We all have been team captains or have been involved in depth in fundraising. We all know how hard it is to put something together. So us as a committee down here at Albury-Wodonga, we put the raffle together for them, and this raffle tick stuff will make it even easier. But we go out and source the prizes. We do the New South Wales gambling compliance letters. We do the posters. We print the tickets. We have them out at 3 or 4 different venues around our towns where people can pick them up, and obviously the team information session, great place for people to be able to pick up the raffle tickets. But by doing the poster and having the poster available on the internet, having the raffle tickets physically handed to people makes it really simple for the teams, because it is hard for them, and team captains do a power of work, as we all know. So we find by literally keeping it simple, stupid, giving them the raffle, giving them the poster, giving them access to the car. So our car, for about 3 or 4 months before the relay, we have it able and available for teams to literally borrow, and we will take it to their school fete or take it to their shopping centre and have it ready for them. And literally that is a bit of running around. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. That is a lot of running around, and Whitmarsh knows that more than everyone. But it's a hard work, but that's what relay is, and obviously we're all here for the right cause. But by having that car available and all really nicely sign marked up, makes it really easy for the teams to sell. And we all know what a great feeling you get when you can actually go out and sell, $1,000 worth of tickets on a Saturday. But that's kind of where we're actually up to. Another idea with these raffles, and a car or no car, I'm not saying everyone has to do a car, but a lot of us have got major sponsors who might be a service club or a pub or something like that. Sitting in their foyer on their Friday and Saturday nights is a good way to give that sponsor the recognition that they're helping out Relay for Life. It's also a great way to sell tickets. So it kind of works both ways. Sometimes going to those sponsors and asking those sponsors to have the raffle tickets for sale at their desk, and actually having a few team captains go in there into the clubs and restaurants and the busier places in the shopping centres and actually selling the tickets shows the general community that person's behind Relay for Life and supporting Relay for Life. So yeah, look, the raffle's been great for us. We've sold everywhere from $40,000 worth of profit to kind of $65,000 worth of profit over the last few years. And with all those funds going to the actual teams, we as a committee often say we don't care who sells the most tickets, as long as the money's going to the right place, and everyone here knows that that's all happening. So look, we've had great success with the raffle. I hope you do too. If you've got any questions, please feel free to touch base in the chat room or after the meeting. But look, this raffle tick stuff will be great, especially in the COVID situation. We'll make online sales and online distribution really easy. I'm gonna yet to be sold, Bree, whether it's going to be easy just to quickly scribble out one ticket at the shopping centre or whether you jump online and do it there and then for the people. But look, it's a great mixture. It's a great initiative, and it's a great way to be able to sell tickets, especially during these COVID situations. So if anyone's got any questions, please feel free to touch base, and back over to Leanne for your great work.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Addie, Brianna, and Carl. That was so informative. I'm so excited about that raffle platform, and I'm sure it's going to be an exciting next half of the year for everyone, and some challenges, but some exciting opportunities to make us think outside the box and do things differently that we've never done before. So it's a great opportunity. Don't forget to use the chat room. I know everybody's talked about that too, but please put your questions in there, and we will endeavour to get back to you either on the call now or later to ensure that you get the answers that you need. Now, we were going to our breakout sessions. Are we right with that, Rashmi?
Hi guys, yeah, we are going to go into our breakout session. So what I'm going to do is just bear with me while I'm just going to stop this, and I'm just going to hand it over to Natasha, who is going to be responsible for breaking us out into these rooms. Just bear with me.
So to let everyone know what's going to happen is we're going to break into separate chat rooms. Tash or Rashmi is going to allocate us to our rooms. Each room is going to have a topic to discuss, and it's going to be led by a Cancer Council staff member or volunteer, or they know about it. And we'll be taking notes and reporting back to us. So please don't be shy. Please, we want to hear your wonderful ideas and feedback. So at the end, like I said, we'll have all the ideas come back to us. So Tash is going to divide us up.
Just want to say thanks to everyone who's presented so far. It's really awesome to a good cross section of people being part of it, and it's awesome to see so many people on here. So yeah, just before we go to break our session, congrats to all the presenters. That was awesome.
One thing I did want to mention, following on from what you've just said, Grant, is I see that we have a South Australian participant has joined us as well. So we're not just New South Walesers.
Fantastic.
So welcome, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. That sounds, it's been great so far. I'm a friend or colleague of James's actually, so that's how I've ended up coming along.
Yeah, we all blame James too.
Everyone's welcome.
Oops. Well, while we're waiting for Tash, there's a question in the chat room, and Carl, you might even be able to answer it or to share with us quickly before we go to our breakout room what you did in this case. And it says, what does the raffle sponsor get in return? How do they see value in being part of the raffle? So Carl, with your awesome prize, I wonder how you sell that to them, that the benefits that they're going to receive, just before we go to our breakout room.
No, Green, it's a very valid question. Ollie, thanks for putting it forward. We acknowledge that raffle supplier as a sponsor, and we do pay you some money for the car. We obviously don't pay retail price for the car, but just for everyone's info, there's no secret about this, but we literally have been paying $10,000 for the car, and that includes the purchase of the car, the sign writing, the insurance, the registration, the fuel, the cleaning of the car, for the whole 6 months of the raffle. So those cars kind of vary in price from $17,000 up to $28,000 in value. And we recognise the sponsor of that car, the provider of that car, who we only pay $10,000 towards. We recognise them as a major sponsor for the event. So every time the car's out and about on a weekend or during the week, we take a photo of it, we tag it on social media, we chuck it up, and we say, have a look at the car today out with Alison from Team Laps for Life. And we put it up, and we tag the location, and then we tag in the people who support us with that raffle and with the car. So that's how those people get the recognition. One of those sponsors we actually tracked about 2 years ago, and they got something like 750,000 mentions and likes online for that car being out and about. So that in social media terms is pretty good as far as follows. So that's just from our Border Relay for Life page. We obviously try and tag sometimes New South Wales Cancer Council. We often tag Cancer Council Australia and the Western Region pages as well. And look, there's no use hiding that it's a hard sell sometimes to a supplier, but look, we're pretty lucky down here to have some pretty generous supporters.
Thanks, Carl. Awesome,
Great.
mate.
Well, the rooms are ready to go. I'm going to open them now.
Wonderful. Welcome back, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed your chance to chat together. I hope, I know it was short and sweet, and we've got some great ideas out there. So what I'll do is I'll ask each group leader to report back to us, and they can give us their maybe top 2 great ideas from what you guys have put together and your ideas and suggestions. Now, we know that there'll be a lot of ideas that were shared, but we won't be able to cover them all live tonight. But don't worry, you won't miss out. We will collate all the ideas collected today, and we'll ensure that they're available. They'll be made available to you when the link for this recording of our webinar has been made available. So first topic was traditional fundraising activities that we can convert virtually or take into the future. So if we can throw over to Kate and a couple of ideas from your group, please.
Yeah, so we discussed the options of the things that teams sell at Relay. So they bring their crafts or their plants or their cupcakes and all that sort of stuff down to Relay and go around selling them on the day. So we thought a way of going virtually with that, maybe setting up like a buy, swap, sell page through the Relay Facebook page, and then selling all of that stuff either prior to the relay, or if we were doing a virtual relay, selling it at the virtual relay and having people then come and collect their goods in exchange for their cash at a later date from the teams. So yeah, that was just one. We thought Facebook may be a good platform for that, but there's possibly lots of other ones, and that would then extend out to things like doing car boot sales or clean out your closet sort of sales and those sorts of things as well. They could all be set up on that sort of same platform. Moving to an online auction. So this came from the Corowa Rutherglen Relay. They actually did this. They did it. They discussed it. They did it in quite a hurry. So they just used the messenger platform through the Facebook site. But with a bit of investigation, a bit more time, there would be other platforms that you could use for an online auction to build that excitement. And the last one, we didn't get much of a chance to discuss this one, but it's an idea that that I'd had about a text to vote for the Miss Relay system, similar to what we do with our Dancing with the Star, our Stars of Dance with Cancer, where they text to vote for their favourite star. So putting up the Miss Relay via Facebook and have a text to vote for for Miss Relay.
That's some great ideas, thanks. So my group also did the same topic. So a couple of ideas that we got from that was like 100 Club on Facebook. So using Facebook as a platform, very similar to what Kate was talking about. Virtual marathon challenge. Again, using potentially social media or Facebook to promote it, using a distance travelled app and potentially being paid per lap. Also converting that potentially into a pool type scenario and doing laps of swimming instead. Also online trivia nights, where we could coordinate in some fundraising potentially through Facebook with that. And also the earn and return, the return and earn cans system. So 2 relays on my chat had some really big fundraising coming through, basically just those 10-cent returning your cans through local clubs, pubs, local schools, workplaces, things like that. So thank you to my group too. That was we had some really good ideas. So our next topic was how to manage the fundraising ask in this climate. So over to you, Clint, if we can, please.
Certainly. So we had some really good ideas come through from our group. A lot of the conversation was around sort of small fish are sweet, so reducing the size of the fundraising ask possibly, rather than going out and asking for $100 or $200 from each person, asking for something a bit smaller. And that might be through the use of a hundreds club or a pie drive where they're actually paying for something. They're getting value for their money. And then James also mentioned about being able to communicate the cancer doesn't stop during all this. So if we can effectively communicate our messaging, then it should make our fundraising ask a lot easier in this climate. And then there was also something that came from a meeting that I've been in a little while ago. I think the guys from Southern have been doing this. They've come up with a list of corporates that are doing really well in the current climate. And instead of just thinking that everyone's struggling at the moment and all businesses aren't going to be able to support, the likes of like your Coles and your Woolworths and any of your shopping centres, or your supermarkets, sorry, there's a lot of industry out there that is still doing quite well. So come up with the list and maybe look at different industries that you might not have targeted before to talk to about sponsorship and some of that higher value sponsorship. It may very well bring in a complete new industry that we've never dealt with before. So yeah, that and a few others, but we'll pop those through a bit later.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And Grant, you had the same topic as well?
I did indeed. And yeah, we got through a couple of topics, which was fantastic. One of them that was shared was like a STEP initiative with businesses. So in the lead up to Relay, get them to some corporate or some businesses to do a STEP challenge among their group. And it can be like a training or, getting them ready for their Relay and get sponsors for that. And that helps them raise money as well in the lead up, as well as getting prepared to walk at Relay. So yeah, I thought that was a really good initiative. You record the steps and then you can include them in some sort of acknowledgement at the Relay or during the Relay, or just at the start. But the big thing is that they're getting it's an opportunity to get sponsors to raise money as the lead up to Relay. The other one was having a look at your networks and really focusing on the networks that you have and the relationships that you have. So then you can draw on them because you understand whether they've been, like Glenn just said, Clint just said, the successful businesses through COVID, or they haven't been. So you'll be sort of conscious or aware of who you can ask and who you can get away with asking. So so I thought that was a really good idea, reaching out to your networks and the relationships that you have and understanding, the value that they can offer. And then you'll be more comfortable for the ask. So fantastic. They're our ideas.
Excellent. That's some great ideas. Thank you very much, guys. Now we're on to topic 3, which is raffle suggestions and various approaches. So over to you, Ollie.
Hi everyone. Yeah, we had a great discussion, and the first idea that came about was in fact working with a local business chamber. So instead of having, particularly during these times where businesses might be a little cash poor, instead of having one business contribute standing alone, potentially using the local business chamber to come up with bring in multiple contributors to the one prize and then produce a voucher. And you can spend it in the local town businesses. So that was more of an approach. A good prize is money is time. So are there any local tradies that have a bit more time on their hands at the moment, and you could get a day with an electrician or a plumber or a labourer? So that was a cool idea. And then I guess another approach is having these businesses sign up to a multiple year tenure. So, Bree Kelly was saying that a couple of her raffle sponsors have a 3-year agreement so that they're not having to go out every year to find new raffle sponsors, and they can also build a relationship with those sponsors in the off season and promote them in the off season. So I really liked that approach. So yeah, they were a couple of different ideas to come out of our group.
Great, thank you. There's some really good ideas. Denise, you also had the same topic, if you could.
Yeah, so our group agreed that it was better to have less prizes than have a lot of low value prizes. We thought that, you know, if you've got 5 prizes on the ticket, then why have more? But make them better value. And we said that bundling prizes together is a good thing. If you can't get a car or whatever, maybe you get restaurant vouchers and you call it a $1,500 dining experience. It's a lot easier to get that kind of slower thing, but if you package it all together, then it looks like a really good prize. So we all agreed that that's what we would do. Yes, agreeing with networking, as Grant says, use all your committee, because it's much easier to get raffle prizes from people that you're connected to. And John also mentioned from South Australia that they do a lot of work with teams where they sell 100 tickets at $5, and then I think he said he got $250 back. So that's maybe something that we should look at doing. I know with Biggest Morning Tea, we have cups and people can do that. Maybe we should do something around Relay for Life and being able to fundraise and sell tickets sort of for teams. That was pretty much it for us.
Great, thank you. Some really good ideas there, guys. Thanks. So our last topic was recognising businesses that have thrived in COVID-19 and that could support Relay. So over to you, Kelly.
Thanks, Leanne. We had quite a small group, but some really good conversations around businesses that have been doing well. We came up with a bit of a list, I guess, of those big companies like Coles, your Woolies, Rebel Sports and things like that. But we also had a bit of a chat about what they would actually provide as well. So with places like Coles and Woolies, we had a great idea coming up about actually getting them to donate ingredients to then create things like pies and cakes that you could then sell on. So rather than getting them to provide like a monetary prize or value or something like that, or voucher, we'd actually get them to pass on their ingredients and do it that way. So it would be like a team fundraiser. And then we also talked about your DIY, your fitness and your camping type companies. So there's all of that, the fitness rage going on virtually with people doing push-up challenges and getting home gyms and stuff like that with all the gyms that were being closed. So yeah, places like your Rebel Sports or your local businesses as well. So yeah, that was us.
Thank you very much. And Rashmi, you had the same topic.
Yeah, thanks, Leanne. And they were really good suggestions as well, Kelly. So just going on top of that, we were talking about, you know, even though you've got your big chains like your Woolies and your Coles, you're thinking of probably looking something at your local supermarkets or your local fruit and veg stores. So your IGA, so you're not having to go through those barriers as well to, you know, get support, and you can probably just get an answer straight away. We also then talked about like food delivery companies as well, and those kind of restaurants that have been using, you know, stuff like Deliveroo or Menulog that have actually quite been busy, you know, as opposed to those restaurants that unfortunately had to shut down and were unable to, you know, deliver their food elsewhere, you know, unless they did have those options to do those delivery vehicles. So yeah, they're the ideas that we had.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming back to us with all those good ideas. As I said, we will collate all the ideas and send them out with the link from the webinar. But there has been some outstanding ideas there, and I know I can't wait for the notes because I've been scribbling down notes for ideas for my relay. So I'm sure there's plenty there that we can share with our relays. Next, we're over to question time. So I know we've already addressed one question that was in the chat, but is there any others there, Rashmi, for tonight that we?
There's nothing in the chat function that I can see. I know that, I mean, I really do apologise that we have gone over time here. So unless anyone just wants to come off their mute and ask a question directly, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we might then go over to Leanne to close off. Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask any of our speakers?
It's Christine from Wagga. It's not actually a question, it's just a thank you. These ideas are achievable. They're not pie in the sky. They're let's get off our butts and do it. So thanks everybody for putting your thinking caps on, because I reckon we can really kick some ass, if I'm allowed to say that.
Oh, well, you have. It's fine.
Love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. It's wonderful. So if there's no others, we might wrap it up. So firstly, yes, sorry we have gone over time. Sorry about the technical issues that we had, but that does bring us to the end of our session this evening. And on behalf of the webinar working group, Cancer Council New South Wales and myself, thank you very much for joining us. We hope you found this session informative and fun. Please remember that it has been recorded and the link will be made available to you shortly, along with the session notes from each session. So where to from here? So our next webinar session is going to be on sponsorship and partnerships. It will be held on Wednesday, the 29th of August. And for something different, we're going to try and mix it up and have a lunchtime session. So it's going to run from 12:30 to 1:30 during the day. The link is on this slide. However, it will be circulated on social media and through email as it has been in the past. So you'll get it closer to the time. Thank you again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you at the next session, and take care.